part 2. We'll continue on with the offering. And so this week is really the talk around radical responsibility. And it isn't so much of the context around like blame or shame or, who spilled the milk and you'll take responsibility for it no matter what. It isn't really understanding that. The radical responsibility is more about you coming into power with yourself and being able to take full responsibility for anything that you manifest or anything that you bring into your reality for your experience. So it could be a conflict with the woman at the grocery store. It could be a beautiful experience of a person on the street corner that you have a talk with. It could be an amazing feeling that you receive from meditation. It's being in a space of radical responsibility for all that you experience. And again, it's beyond the blame or the shame or to point the finger. It's more about the responsibility from a very space of neutrality you've been talking about, a place of curiosity around, I wonder why that is happening for me. Coming back to the understanding of the foundation that your life is always happening for you, never to you, never against you. And beyond that, from a larger scope of your own consciousness, every single experience, every single conversation, every single interaction, every single conversation is happening because your subconscious needs it for it to grow, for it to expand, for it to grow with. So anything that you call in, any interaction, you are in complete responsible for that experience. Again, I keep reiterating it, not the blame or the shame, but the point is like, why is this happening for me? What am I supposed to receive from this? And so you're responsible for all those interactions. And, even down, I use analogy, even down to like Spirit, my dog, like drinking his water, and all of a sudden he dribbles water all across the floor because he's thirsty. Like, I'm taking radical responsibility for that, It's happening. It's happening in my awareness around my life experience. So I'm responsible for it. And I guess I can get the towel and wipe it up. But the point is not so much responsibility around cleaning it up. It's more about the responsibility of that's happening for me some way, shape, or form. And you might not know the reason why, but you're responsible for all that is. The interaction, like I said, the unpleasant interaction, the beautiful blissful moment, the conversation, all of it, from a larger scope of understanding that maybe you have this moment or not, that you're creating it yourself to experience. And so by us having this radical responsibility will help expand our viewpoint a little bit to see why that was happening for us and begin to tie it back, because in the last half of the DHP, the last 8 weeks, you're going to begin to dive into subconscious patterns, belief systems, and seeing why things are created that way. If you are looking to buy a yellow Volkswagen and you never see one around town, but then you go look at one, and all of a sudden from then on you see them everywhere because you wasn't in your perception, wasn't in your sphere of your consciousness or your sphere of perception around how you perceive life. But now you invited that yellow Volkswagen into your sphere of consciousness or sphere of influence, and you're seeing them everywhere, right? So by, again, invoking this space of radical responsibility, you begin to see from a larger scale around how life is happening for you, never to you, never against you. And we'll dive deeper into how powerful we truly are as co-creators of Source. And you've heard me say this before, the human being, and the human species is the most technology advanced creation so far in the cosmos. And we'll dive deeper into this in later talk. But we have more technology in our system than any creation so far in creation. And all of the creation up till this point had an ability to channel source energy. But the human species actually has the ability to become co-creator with source itself in creating the experience or the life that it wants to have. I don't just mean like, the house you want to own or the car you want to drive, but as far as like every single moment, you have the ability to create the moment you experience. So we're going to dive deeper into that later on the DHP, but it starts with radical responsibility. So we'll start with that. and we evoke more of a conversation this week on the integration call, and go from there. So blessings. Mahalo.